Hello and welcome to this episode of AWS GenAI Live. My name is Brian Terry and I'm a Senior Partner Solution Architect here at AWS, focusing on GenAI migrations. And I'm joined here with my good friend, Wayne Sachs. Wayne, introduce yourself and tell me how you're doing.
Hey Brian, I'm doing well. Thanks for kicking us off. It is a pleasure to see you, pleasure to chat with you, to have our viewers with us. My name is Wayne Sachs. I'm a partner solutions architecture leader here at AWS. And for those of you who are new to our show, we gather up virtually every Wednesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific to talk Gen AI Live, which is really an opportunity for us to have a conversation with our partners about the things they're doing with generative AI and how they're seeing the world, how it's shaping their businesses, what their customers are asking for, and the cool things they're doing on the AWS platform. So it's, I don't know, it's one of my favorite part of the week. And I think this week we've had some announcements.
Oh yeah, we had a
Well,
lot of announcements.
last
Even
last week between our last show, which we didn't have last week, and today, it feels like things are popping.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had actually had a launch last week that I kind of helped with, and I'm pretty excited about. So if you guys haven't read my new blog in the marketplace blog for AWS, we just launched Anthropic Claude Enterprise on Marketplace. So now through Marketplace, you can actually purchase Claude Enterprise. So that's super excited. I'm super excited about the Anthropic team and our partnership there, and it's an awesome product. So please go and try it.
Yeah, that congratulations. I mean, congratulations
Thank
to you, the
you.
partnership, Anthropic, the marketplace team. Congratulations to our customers who can actually, who can now make use of like cutting edge stuff in ways that they might not have been able to before. I don't know. Seems unabashedly awesome to me. So, you know, for those of you who don't know, we had the New York Summit last week. And at the New York Summit, there were a few announcements. And by a few, I mean a lot. And by announcements, I mean holy moly announcements. Um, so, I guess to me, right, the big one that's sort of looming, that's I think driving a ton of excitement, and what I have probably spent every minute of my day talking about since the keynote is Bedrock Agent Core
Yes,
and and all of the things that it can do, and all of the ways that it people are now imagining what they can do with the tools that it's providing. Um,
absolutely.
and I've had a chance to play with runtime, love it. It's yeah, like, wow. Um,
Yeah, you look super excited about it, Wade. I mean,
yeah, I
yeah,
love it. And
yeah,
then
it's
and
great.
then and then we had AWS Agent Marketplace, which Matt Yanchishin just told the world that we crossed the 8,000 mark of agents and tools on the AWS Marketplace, like as of
Hmm.
yesterday. Wow. So in I don't know, like 4 or 5 days, our
Yeah,
partners just like went all in. That is so exciting to see.
well, absolutely. It's like Christmas in July. We're just halfway through the year, so I can't imagine what going to the reInvent's going to look like for like just innovation in AWS from AWS and its partners.
Yeah. Anything that's obviously marketplace is big, which you talked about. Anything from New York Summit that really stands out?
Yeah, so we actually launched another thing in Marketplace. So we actually launched a Marketplace page called OpenAI to AWS Bedrock migration. And in that Marketplace page, we highlight a lot of our partners' opportunities and their solutions around Gen AI migration. So definitely check out that page too. So like I was working really hard last week on a couple of these launches for our partners, and I'm super excited. We have our partners on there like Basis and Loca, where we're super excited about them. And yeah, it's been great.
Okay. Since we're about to steal our next guest's thunder, and I think we probably shouldn't do that. Um, can let's bring on our friends from AWS Marketplace.
Hello and welcome to the
Oh,
show. How about you introduce yourselves?
I can go first. Hey everyone, my name is Adelaide Onyamiama. I'm a principal product manager at AWS Marketplace. I was very instrumental in the launch that Wayne spoke about, agents and tools in AWS Marketplace. Super excited to chat about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey team, Mike Levy from the AWS Marketplace BD team. I think Adelaide's being a bit bashful. She was the product lead for our agent marketplace launch, which was awesome. And I was happy to work with her as the BD lead on the launch last week. Happy to see the smiles from Wayne and Brian. I'm glad the exuberance is continuing into this week and excited to chat about it.
yeah, welcome, Mike and Adelaide. We're super excited to have you on, and it's been an interesting couple of weeks for Marketplace. Yeah, especially around your success of your new launch. Can we talk a little bit about your solution?
Yeah, I can start. You mentioned Matt's post about 1,000 listings in AI Agent Marketplace from the launch last week, and just as part of the launch, we had launch partners. We had probably over 300 launch partners with 800 to 900 plus listings. And just to kind of give everybody an overview on, what is AI agents and tools in Marketplace, it's really it's kind of a one-stop shop. So for customers who want to build agents, buy agent tools, it's a one-stop shop. So the approach that we took with our partners is really giving them kind of everything you need to build agents. So whether that's pre-built agents that are ready off the shelf, whether that's agent development platforms that help you sort of develop your own agents, professional services to help you tie it all together, as well as the kind of underlying components of an agent, right? There's a few things that go into a recipe of an AI agent, like guardrails, knowledge bases, MCP servers, tools that the agent would call or invoke. So things like that, that's all available in the marketplace.
Super, super interesting.
Yeah, no, and I gotta say, having seen the amount of energy from it's kind of into the run up of your launch and how enthusiastic our partners were in leaning in. I've been with AWS for a long time, and I've got to say, there's always a lot of enthusiasm for launches, but this felt like kind of more bigger excitement than what I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think
congratulations.
Part of that was probably the double whammy. So not only do we have AI agents and tools marketplace, but we have it integrated with the new agent core or a few of the new agent core primitives that were also announced. And Adelaide, do you want to maybe talk about what the integration is with agent core and why that's exciting?
Yeah, so I think the one of the interesting aspect of this launch is the fact that out of the box or out of the gate, right, partners or customers who are looking to build agents do not need to worry about figuring it all out themselves, right? So you can start your journey from the marketplace, find some of those pre-built recipes like either agents, discrete agents, or maybe the tools for agents, and then you can proceed to experiment or build those workflows directly by running and hosting those on our agent core primitives. So some of the integration points are basically the agent core runtime, which allows you to host and run agents and packaged tools. And also you can actually leverage some of the third-party tools that you need to operate your agent workflows. You can integrate those through the agent core gateway. The gateway allows you to make those a collection of tools available to you out of the gate without having to always reconfigure every time you want your agent to speak to a tool. So this is really the amazing part of the agent core integration.
Yeah, I think that's hugely important because the more sort of tools and resources that agents have access to, I think the more and increased business outcomes that our customers are seeing. So the fact that Marketplace is kind of the front end for all the third-party tools and agents that is then available and exposed in Agent Core, where customers are starting to build their agents, is super exciting.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about toolings. Can we dive deep into a little bit of that? Can you talk a little bit about what kind of tools are available? Like when we say tools, and what does that all mean?
Yeah, I can talk about some specific examples, right? We have folks like Brave and Tavili that are part of the launch where they have an MCP server And basically, it's if you're creating an AI agent and you want it to search the web and do something, you can very easily invoke an MCP server using the marketplace listings from some of those providers. So when you think about a tool in the context of an agent, it is something that they would use to accomplish a task, right? So for an AI agent, you give it a task, and the whole goal is that it can accomplish it sort of iteratively and autonomously. And so the tools that are available through Marketplace and now exposed in things like Gateway in Agent Core enable the agent to do that. So maybe it's a database or a knowledge base. Maybe it's a guardrail. So maybe you want to create an agent, but you need some parameters on what the agent can and can't do. You can use third-party guardrails available to in Marketplace for that. Or it's an MCP server. So it's some other application that is just more immediately callable from an AI agent because it's in this standard protocol. So those are some of the examples of tools that are related to AI agent. Ultimately, the goal is to give that AI agent what it needs to accomplish a task.
Awesome.
So we're like, this is the early days, and I wouldn't expect you to like put on, dust off the crystal ball and tell us where you're going to be in a couple of years, because I'm guessing we're waiting to see where we're going to be in a couple of weeks, given where we are in this universe and how fast the technology is changing. But are you beginning to see anything, like any patterns where you think, okay, partners are thinking about it this way, or customers are thinking about it this way, or maybe, or another way of asking that same question is, when you imagined like how this was going to roll out, like where are you seeing the kind of the lay of the land?
Yeah.
Lady, do you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. So I think when we started this journey, one of the things that was very obvious to us was most of our partners were still in the phase of experimentation. Actually, not just partners and customers, right? Enterprise customers. And most of the conversation was thinking through, how do we quickly build agents, either specific agents for specific business use cases, and then how do we make sure that people who might not be potentially technical get easy access and get started with these agents, right? Now that we've seen a lot of evolution there, we're beginning to see a lot of desire by people who are not technically like developers or just business leaders looking to use agents to deliver specific business outcomes. So with Marketplace, we're beginning to think through, how do we bring agents and things agentic into our ecosystem of our existing Marketplace offerings? So Marketplace traditionally has been very good, has done a great job bringing software solutions, data solutions, and services to enterprise and even developers, right? So we're simply extending that to agents. And we've seen a lot of point around things like, hey, I'm trying to build a workflow. I simply want to just come to Marketplace and say, I want to build a workflow for this. Show me all the things, including agents, that I need to do to build those kind of workflows. So this is the kind of trend we're beginning to see now as the industry continues to evolve. One other thing that we know that it's a big debate, or it's like an interesting insight, is enabling agents to take actions, including things like being able to actually procure or make a purchase or actually deploy solutions. So these are all topics and interests that we've been seeing across the enterprise and our partners. I don't know, Michael, if you have a few to add to that.
Yeah, I think the other evolution that we're seeing is, like you mentioned, many partners are in the early stage. So some of our partners are just releasing AI agents, and they're kind of doing so through their existing SaaS application. So there's like a SaaS UI and there's an AI agent, and maybe it's a new feature that they're piloting with their customers. And they're kind of waiting to see, what is the value, is the benefit, versus having it as sort of a separately deployed SKU with separate commercials. And so we've seen some partners that have that. They have already deployed agents and separate commercials around how to use those agents. But I think that evolution is particularly interesting about how our SaaS partners are evolving and kind of unbundling some of the features of their SaaS, including AI agents. So in the catalog today, we kind of run the gamut of pre-built AI agents that can be either vendor hosted or deployed in your VPC in a customer's environment, or SaaS applications that have AI agents within them that are sort of piloting that. And I think with that is kind of some evolving commercials, right? Adelaide touched on this a little bit. Like, if we get to a world where agents are procuring other agents or procuring other solutions in order to accomplish whatever it is, the task that they've set out to do, I think that's an interesting evolution. And similarly, if you're hosting an MCP server or an agent and you're kind of only making it available for your SaaS customers, maybe it's free to start, and maybe you're kind of thinking about what the commercials are. Is it usage-based? Is it contract-based? We're hearing a lot about outcome-based pricing as well. So if you think about an AI agent, you want it to accomplish a task. You don't want to pay for every single API call and every single thing that it needs to do in the interim, right? You maybe want to pay for what the outcome is. So a lot of our partners are evolving to figure out how they meet that commercial model and what that changes about their existing commercials. And Marketplace being a central management, billing, governance, procurement solution for our customers, like, we're right there with them, and we're trying to innovate to help them do so.
Yeah, I can't wait till we have to start tipping these agents for great jobs.
Yeah, right.
And like, yeah, and how, like, the age-old question of, like, how polite should you be to your agent?
Yeah.
I think there was that Sam Altman quote that they're spending millions and millions of dollars on all the pleases and thank yous that are being quoted in their LLMs. Yeah, we'll see.
I can just like hear my like a grandparent like over my shoulder. Thank you, please.
I think everyone's a healthy dose of, like, just in case I should probably be polite.
So we have a question from in our chat. I'm going to rephrase a little bit, just to make it maybe more applicable to the whole audience. But what does it take to post an agent to the marketplace? Like, do you need to be a partner? Can you be just a person? Like, what are the ground rules for being a provider on our marketplace?
It's a good question. I'll take a stab at it first, Adelaide. So from a partner perspective, Marketplace is part of the overall AWS partner network. So you can list on Marketplace with a SaaS offering, an agent offering, any offering in less than a day. I've run workshops with companies where we've gotten 10 plus listings in just one workshop session. So it is relatively easy. There's terms, there's basically you sign up as a Marketplace seller, you're able to list, you provide banking and tax information, and then you can list products so base case, be an AWS customer, review Marketplace terms, provide banking and tax information, and then you can list your product. Depends what the product is. So as Adelaide was kind of getting into in the agent space, we have agents within SaaS. So from a Marketplace onboarding perspective, it's like you're onboarding SaaS. We have vendor-hosted agents and tools that are accessible via API, and that API is a new deployment method that was built for this launch. And then there's customer-hosted, kind of like a container image. So basically, you would have a Docker container image. That would be the Marketplace listing, and then that can be deployable in things like the runtime primitive from Agent Core. So that's kind of the process from soup to nuts. Becoming an AWS partner is a fundamental part of success on Marketplace. So listing on Marketplace and kind of hoping for the best is not generally the right outcome. Becoming an AWS partner, actively sort of engaging in co-sell and finding mutual customers and sort of going that partnership motion, and there's tons of programs to help support that, is really kind of the full-fledged approach to Marketplace.
Okay. Do any of these agents offer kind of free trials, or some of them free, or some paid? Can you talk a little bit about what the pricing model looks like for these things?
Yeah, great question. So we do acknowledge that a lot of our partners are still sort of thinking through the go-to-market strategy for agents. And the good news is with Marketplace, we offer different pricing options. So there is the option to actually offer these agents as free. So these are agents or tools that could be perpetually free. We also have the option to like a try and test. So free trial where you can get started and eventually transition into a paid option. We had the typical pay-as-you-go option, the option to you charge maybe if it's via API, per API request, you charge a certain amount of money. And we also have contract options. So for this specific duration, this is how much we're going to bill you for for using this agent or agentic tool. There are a couple of other ways to engage the vendors. There is the option if you want a special pricing. So basically, this is going to be an option where an enterprise or a company will say, I want to negotiate with you, identify a few specific agents and tools, and then go into a specially priced contract with you for a specific duration. You can request for a demo or request for those kind of private pricing, we call it. So these are all options available today on the marketplace. And as we alluded to earlier, we're still thinking through a couple of additional pricing models for agents. Again, because agents are this new thing that is still evolving. So be on the lookout. Maybe we'll come back. You can invite us back to the show when we have new pricing models to add. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I would add, I think fundamentally at a high level from marketplace perspective, there's sort of public pricing, which is kind of your off the shelf. There's the private offers, which Adelaide was alluding to. And then many of our customers are also procuring through channel partners. So they may be procuring professional services, cloud services, as well as marketplace purchases. And all three of those are applicable to AI agents, as well as the rest of the marketplace offerings.
Wow, that is super exciting. I'm ready to start trying some of these things. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I think that's fundamentally one of the great things about marketplace is, it's a B2B marketplace for SaaS, software, data, professional services. And there's a little bit of try before you buy. There's a lot of kind of product-led growth for our partners to help experiment with customers. That's where marketplace started. We were, you could spin up an AMI or a server-based product and sort of try it out. And now we've sort of really kind of changed the game from a enterprise procurement perspective.
Awesome.
So what are you excited for next? And I know that the work, everybody like congratulates, themselves and the world, and then, back to it on Monday. And obviously I'm not asking you to like tell us your roadmap, but you're welcome to if you'd like to. But what are you excited for next on agents and marketplace?
I need to take a minute to think this through.
I was gonna say I'm kind of excited to see how this evolves marketplace and just enterprise procurement in general. I think one of the things that customers have found useful on marketplace is, reduction in procurement cycles, the ability to procure everything kind of in a one-stop shop. And I think that capability is doubly important when it comes to agents. Because if you fast forward to a world where you have different agents for different types of things, and you're working with different companies for the agent, the tool, the knowledge base, et cetera, that centralized procurement becomes super important. Standardized contracting might become super important. So all the core kind of rails of marketplace that exist become that much more valuable. So I'm excited. I don't want to fast forward to that world yet, but I'm excited to see where it evolves.
Yeah. And plus one to everything that Michael just said there, I am also especially excited to see how our enterprises leverage these diverse availability of agents and agent tools, right? So like the idea that to get to experiment or as companies can now easily enable their developers to experiment and get started without having to go through multiple different procurement cycles with different vendors. I'm curious to see how this evolves, especially from an industry perspective. I know there are certain industries that are already agent aware, but there are some other industries that are still up and coming. I'm curious to see how the industry aspect of this evolves in the long term. And the other aspect that I think I want to sort of take a look at is like the agents to agent interactions, how that evolves further, and how that sort of impacts software procurement as we know it today.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting when an agent is given a task. It recognizes that it doesn't have a tool that it needs to do this task. It goes and asks the tool buyer agent, "Hey, is there something that you can get for me that's authorized to operate in my environment?" And and then all of a sudden wires it up, and away it goes.
Yeah,
It seems like a day that's going to happen.
It's very interesting because we're beginning to see a lot of like non-traditional software providers who were born out of this world of like agents, right? So a lot of startups, and most of them currently, they spend most of their time building these agents or agent platforms and agent workflows, and they do need that way to bring all of those to market faster. And this is where marketplace becomes super critical. So I'm excited to see this new cohort of startups that are going to become the next wave of marketplace providers or marketplace partners. So interesting times ahead.
Very much so. Super exciting. So we only have a couple more minutes left in this interview. I'm sad to say, but I would love to have you back, like you said. Can you tell us or tell our audience where can they find out more about this solution? How can they get started? And maybe even your socials if they want to reach out to you.
Yeah, well, we can throw up a slide which has some handy QR codes about kind of where to get started. And there's really two methods, and both are relevant for all of our customers. So obviously discovering, what solutions are in the marketplace is that first link. And then, I think we talked about what does it take to get started. If you're building agents or you're building solutions and you want to go to market, we have documentation for our marketplace sellers on where to get started. Interesting, just twist on the first one. What was also part of the launch was kind of a fundamentally new way of exploring the catalog. So we launched a solutions page powered with semantic search. So previously marketplace, and still today, it's a catalog. You can go through different categories. You can search for vendors, et cetera, and you can search for solutions. This made it a lot easier for customers. I think Adelaide was talking about more of the business user saying, hey, I'm looking for a marketing campaign automation solution. And you can just type that in and we'll see sort of relevant solutions that are in the catalog that are featured. So it might be a marketing agent, it might be an MCP tool that helps call an email server, things of that nature. And that's what that first link kind of talks about. And the second one I mentioned is where to get started. So if you are an AWS customer, obviously reaching out to your account manager. If you're already an AWS partner and you're not on Marketplace, reaching out to your partner manager with figuring out how to get started.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been a very just exciting talk. And I know a lot of our audience is excited about agents. And thank you guys for what you do and launching the solution.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Yeah. And definitely come back. We're offering the invitation because I know you guys got to innovate like crazy. This is just the first beginning. And I'm super excited to see where the partners and you kind of take this.
Yeah, I think we'll be back with some exciting, crazy use cases that none of us probably on the call have even heard of that are facilitated through this new launch, and Agent Core as well.
All right. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about AWS. As an aside, is like our partners and our customers are unbelievably inventive, and like we'll give them a tool and they will turn it into a completely different tool that we could never have imagined was possible, and it's just like shockingly inventive. And it's inspiring to see the creativity.
The other thing, just
in the community that we've got.
The other thing, just to come full circle on what I'm excited about, also excited for customers to use Agent Core, develop a real productionized AI agent, and then come and go to market on Marketplace. Just to come full circle. That's kind of part of my hope, which shouldn't be too far away.
So launch was 1 week ago. I bet that exists already.
Yes. Yeah. Let's hope so.
It's somewhere in that 1,000 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There's speed. Well, thank you for joining us. We have come to the close of the first half of this segment. It's been a pleasure talking with you. The invitation is always there for you to tell us cool things about the marketplace. We love it.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Terry. Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you. Bye.
Hello and welcome to this exciting episode of GenAI Live. My name is Brian Terry and I'm a Senior Partner Solution Architect here at AWS focusing on GenAI migrations. And I'm joined here with my good friend Wayne Sachs. Hello, Wayne.
Hey, thanks, Brian, for kicking us off. Hi, my name is Wayne Sachs. I'm a Partner Solutions Architecture Leader here at AWS. And it is a pleasure chatting with you today and, being here with all of our listeners and our viewers. If you're new, this is AWS GenAI Live. This is an opportunity for us to speak with our partners about the cool things they're doing in generative AI space, what they're seeing with what they're seeing, what corners they're looking around, what customers are interested in and excited about, and ultimately, I like to showcase the really cool things that they're doing using the AWS tools at their disposal to push the cutting edge of what is already a cutting edge space. We love it.
Yeah, excited. And this is a live show we do every week from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we also show reruns of this. So if you don't catch it live, you can actually catch us on the reruns. And you can always follow us on social media, wherever that is. For me, I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. So like if you just want to say hello on LinkedIn or put something in the chat. We love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Well, that was a really that was exciting. I think there's a lot happening in marketplace. The launches last week were inspiring. The pace at which our partners are innovating and listings listing on the marketplace is shocking, but not, because our partners tend to be energetic and inventive and ready to roll.
Yeah, super exciting.
That was
I'm
last
loving
one was
the whole partner ecosystem. I mean, it's just growing. Did you see like 1,000 partners attached to that previous session we just talked about in the Agents in the Marketplace?
I think that was the number that Matt shared yesterday on LinkedIn, was that they had surpassed 1,000 listings
Oh wow!
in like the whatever number of days it had been. But I'm guessing our guests don't want to listen to us yammer.
No,
So
they want more partners.
how about
They want more partners.
no? We'd rather partners, and honestly, so would I. So let's bring on our next guest.
Yeah, hello. How about you introduce yourself?
Hey folks, I'm Jackie Laidman. I'm a principal product manager working for PagerDuty.
Welcome, Jackie. Yeah, welcome to the
It's great
show.
to have you. Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so PagerDuty. Tell us a little bit about your company if people don't know what that is. I know what it is, but let's see if our audience knows what that is.
Yeah, sure. So, ever wonder what keeps your favorite apps and websites running smoothly 24/7? That's where we come in. We're all about making digital life reliable for everyone. Our operations cloud is like having a super smart assistant that never sleeps. It keeps your digital services up and running, handles those pesky incidents before they becoming big problems, and it gives you round-the-clock peace of mind. And the best part is we take all of this tedious, repetitive work off your developers and operations team plates, so that they can focus on building amazing things instead of putting out fires. Because let's face it, nobody has time for downtime. So we have got your back, so you can focus on what you do best.
Wow. I mean, thank you for keeping some of the biggest websites in the world working and some of the biggest applications working. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you guys are like the ultimate unsung heroes, right?
Yeah.
In the background, keeping things humming along.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And
nicely done.
I'm super excited. And what I find cool about your company is you guys are always innovating. And now I see that you guys are innovating into the AI space. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. But before jumping into the AI space, I do want to say that we have been partners with AWS for over a decade now. I think it's since 2013, and it has been an incredible journey together. And here is the cool thing, we don't just work with AWS; we actually build on AWS. Our entire PagerDuty platform runs on AWS infrastructure, and we are constantly leveraging the latest innovations. For instance, take our PagerDuty Advanced technology, which we build using AWS Bedrock and Bedrock guardrails. So, like now moving sort of like into AI, that heart-pounding moment when a critical system goes down and everyone's scrambling, that's exactly what we wanted to fix. So picture this, your team is dealing with a major incident, and instead of focusing on the solution, they're wasting precious minutes hunting through multiple systems, digging through documentation and trying to piece together fragmented information. Because, every second counts. So, but they're stuck playing detective instead of being heroes. And that's where PagerDuty Advanced and AI agents really come in. We thought, what if we could give teams instant access to everything they need right when they need it most? So no more, manual searching, no more jumping between systems, no more, where did I see that fix last time? Our AI agents don't just sit there, they're really powered with reliable data and actually help identify root causes and spotting similar incidents from the past and even automate resolutions. It's like having, your most experienced engineer available 24/7.
Well, that's it. That's definitely interesting and definitely needed. As these applications become a lot more complicated, even applications that use agents, there's a degree in which we need to have those monitored too. I mean, I imagine your solution kind of helps with all that. Can you talk a little bit about how that works with even GenAI applications?
100%. If I could actually share here just a few slides.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So, picture these powerful layers working together. At the top, we have AI, which is literally woven into every single workflow you touch. It's not some separate tool that you have to remember to use. It's just how work gets done now. Every click, every decision, every action is enhanced by intelligence. Then in the middle layer, that's where our AI assistants and agents live. These smart autonomous helpers that tackle complex tasks while you focus on bigger things. And here's the cool part. They actually learn and get better over time, becoming more helpful with all the integrations and security and compliance features that PagerDuty Operations Cloud offers. So essentially, really no compromises, no worries. But here's why this layered approach is a game changing. So instead of having a few scattered AI features that don't talk to each other, you get one truly intelligent operational system that amplifies everything that the team touches. Now, you're probably thinking, these all sounds amazing, but what about the reality of a messy tool ecosystem when everything is falling apart? That data silo can really become a nightmare when a major outage hits and stress levels are, through the roof. So let me show you how we are tackling this challenge head on with the brand new Amazon Q integration. So imagine incident management where every critical piece of information is instantly at your fingertips. That's now reality with PagerDuty Advanced and Amazon Q Index. The industry's first integration that's revolutionizing how teams respond to incidents. By breaking down data silos across your entire tech stack from GitHub to Confluence and beyond, this powerful partnership transforms scattered information into actionable insights. And PagerDuty Advanced really harnesses Amazon's Q cross-application intelligence to put critical context exactly where and when responders need it. And you're probably asking, what's the result, right? So it really creates true operational resilience. No more switching between tools or hunting for answers, just faster, smarter instant resolution that keeps your systems running and your customers happy. Now,
Nice.
as we can see here, PagerDuty Advanced with Amazon Q really transforms how teams work through 3 game-changing capabilities. First, it taps into enriched knowledge sources, creating a powerful cross-application index that puts critical information at your fingertips. Think of it as having your entire organizational knowledge base intelligently connected and instantly accessible. Secondly, it eliminates the productivity-killing practice of constant context switching, no more toggling between multiple tools, and then the third one, it really delivers where it matters most. So your bottom line and response time by streamlining your operations and empowering faster, more informed decisions. Team can significantly reduce costs while improving the mean time to resolution. So hopefully it gives you like some overview of where we stand with AI and this, I think, like super exciting integration with Amazon Q.
Yeah, that sounds incredible, right? And like for anybody who's ever been in an operational role, knowing when it's hard enough to find stuff, the documentation, the true knowledge, when you've got a full night of sleep, it's 10:30 in the morning, you're feeling your best. It's infinitely more challenging to do that in the middle of the night when there's an incident and everybody's hair is on fire. I'm just like imagining some of my like earlier existence days and just like how intensely stressful those moments are, and having a tool that takes advantage of all of this technology that can like make that moment less stressful, I think adds like actual years to people's lives. just in terms of stress reduction. So past me wishes that it had these future tools. That's really cool. I'm curious, there's this balance that I think my partners have been thinking about, and our mutual customers have been thinking about, which is how do you think about like leaving your tool set to be autonomous versus where do you need and how do you need a human being to like click the button, whatever that metaphorical button is. And I recognize that there is no answer. There's no like scientific answer to this. How are you guys thinking about that like basic philosophical question?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great philosophical question, right? We think about it like having the perfect teammate, one who knows when to jump in and when to step back. So we really see it where for us it's really essentially we have 3 main categories of incidents that we classify or categorize. So we have the brand new and the never seen before issues, where it's all hands on deck, full human control. These are actually, the gold mines because they teach our AI what to look for next time. And, when we're dealing with something that feels familiar but isn't quite clear, that's where AI becomes sort of like the research assistant. So it spots patterns, it suggests solutions based on history, it speeds up the work while helping the customer staying, on the driver's seat. So it's really like close collaboration between AI agents and human expertise. And then we have this like last sort of like categorization of incident for the well understood ones. Like, we have seen this 1,000,000 times. And that's where AI can really handle, the heavy lifting with you keeping, sort of like an eye on things. Like think predefined paths with clear approval processes. And, here's our secret sauce. I mean, complete transparency. Our AI always shows its work, where it got the info, why it's suggesting something, and it gives you sort of like clear approval points for anything risky. Essentially, I think in the end of the day, the goal isn't to replace human judgment. It's really to free up human, minds for innovation by gradually moving routine stuff into the AI got this category, right? So more automation for the mundane means more time for the amazing, right?
Wow, that is super. That is super. I love the way that you put that. I mean, it's making these ops people superheroes instead of kind of replacing them. And I think that's where
Yeah.
AI should be, and I think it's where it's going. Yeah. So, I mean, this is super interesting. I love how you're integrating into like AWS services like Q. Can you talk a little bit more about your integrations and maybe some future integration paths you're looking at?
Sure. So I think like this whole area of the agentic AI space is very fascinating. It's great to see like how everyone is moving so fast, and these partnerships, and the partnership that we have is Amazon as well. And we have this amazing integration that's with Q that became generally available recently. But at the same time, you're really looking on like enhancing and rolling out these new AI agents of PagerDuty, and seeing how customers can really benefit from them and help them with their operations. So we are actually now in the process of rolling out a powerful suite of 4 AI agents.
Mm.
So the first app is the Shift agent, where it's sort of like your new scheduling superhero, where it's constantly watching for calendar changes. It spots coverage gaps before they happen, and actually negotiates with the team to fill shifts. So no more 3 a.m. Panic calls asking, "Hey, who is on call?" Right? So now, then the second one, we have the Scribe agent. And think about the Scribe agent as sort of like your perfect note taker who never misses anything. It jumps into calls and chat, captures everything in real time, gets new team members up to speed instantly, and it really creates all your post-incident documentations as well. Then we have the SRE agent, which is like having sort of like a senior engineer who never sleeps. It's like, picture this, like database overload hits, and it's already analyzing signals, checking similar past incidents, figuring out root causes, and suggesting fixes, like speeding up new clusters or shifting traffic. Always, again, human approval when needed, right? And then, the last but not least, we are also rolling out the Insights agent, which is sort of like the learning machine where it digs through everything that happened and spots patterns you might miss, updates your runbooks automatically, and actually prevent future incidents. So it's really like having sort of like 4 brilliant teammates who work 24/7. And with those AI agents, we really also have this powerful integration with Q. And I can see a lot of great use cases that can come in the near future, as I look in the second half of this year, and additional use cases that we can take, for instance, with the SRE agent, and seeing how the SRE agent can really try to identify and analyze information leveraging Q index without even the responder needing to ask anything, right? So today we are sort of still in the mode of like being sort of reactive. So I can ask these questions and I get instant answer, which is awesome. It already saves more than 30% MTTR. But as I look in the future, I could see this really becoming like more proactive and more automated, right? So like the SRE agent can go and query the Q index and say, hey, I already see all of these insights, and here is all the information that I have without even needing to type or perform any action, right? So that's where I see things.
Oh man, that's super awesome.
That's I'm sure that you love all 4 of these agents the same. Like if they're all 4 of your kids, you love them equally. But which one do you like the best? Which one are you most excited for?
It's a great question, because I'm personally, we have multiple teams, in the organization that are working on those agents, and my team is actually responsible for the Scribe agent and the Insights agent. So, but at the same time, I'm very excited about the SRE agent. I think the SRE agent is really going to be like a game changer, in the sense of like, how we see PagerDuty and, the operations cloud, and how the SRE agent would really help customers to categorize those incidents into these 3 buckets that I mentioned before, where it can say, hey, this is something we have seen in the past. We know exactly what's the resolution. And here's the workflow action that can run without you even needing, to perform any action. You can sleep at night. We don't need to even to page you, right? So I think SRE is really going to be a game changer. And I think this is, with the SRE, there will be also a lot of, again, synergy and use cases where we can develop our integration with Q index as well.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty cool. I never thought that, in my lifetime we'll see an SRE agent. So, this is great how this is innovating and how fast this is moving.
Yeah, and we need to be careful, like, also with the terms. Sometimes, SRE folks, they sort of like might get the association of like, oh, is that what it's supposed to do, this agent? We're going to replace me? No, we are not going to replace anyone. It's really about creating this powerful collaboration between your expertise and AI, right?
Right. Yeah, that whole co-pilot thing, giving them a co-pilot and you'll have a captain. So definitely.
Yeah. So what are you hearing from customers? Not necessarily about like because you guys talking to customers all the time, obviously. And what are you hearing from customers about how they're viewing this world ahead of us?
I think it's a great question. I think customers, first of all, they are very excited about our vision and the roadmap that we have for AI agents and how we are really investing in AI, as a company and as a platform. Many of these organizations are starting to build or at least look at building sort of like their own agents, right? Which is, I think, fascinating to see like how everyone is now acknowledges the fact that, hey, if you're not going to at least like implement a use case, or if you can start building something, you're going to stay behind the trend, right? Because your competitors will do, right? And I think there is a lot of discussions on PagerDuty's AI agents and how they can help our customers. There is a lot of discussions on how you can potentially partner, because again, a lot of these customers are now starting to look or already building agents, and how can we create this agent to agent collaboration, right? And then there is this thousands of mutual AWS and PagerDuty customers that are now also like really want to benefit from this integration that we created. I see a lot of customers starting to use Amazon Q Business, and then we have a lot of customers who are starting to use PagerDuty Advanced, and we really have a lot of discussions and around, hey, so now that you are using these 2 platforms, things can really become more seamless, and you can get all of this instant data within seconds, right? I will share with you, like, there is like at least like one of the largest one of our largest customers in the tourism industry, and I think their story is pretty incredible. They have around 400 hotels, over 100 aircrafts, 16 cruise ships, all with their own IT systems, doing their own thing. And it was like really conducting like an orchestra where every musician is playing a different song. So they partnered with AWS to consolidate everything into one unified architecture. And then they brought PagerDuty into the mix for global incident management. And the transformation was really mind-blowing. With our AIOps capabilities, they are now resolving incidents 30% faster overall. And when automation kicks in, they're 90% faster. So we are taking millions in savings. It's real money that goes straight back into making vacations better for their customers. But here's what I love most. Their DevOps teams aren't stuck fighting fires anymore. They're innovating, which means higher booking rates, and customers who actually trust that their dream vacation won't turn into a tech nightmare. And when your IT runs smoothly, everything else just works better. I think that's really the power of bringing AWS and PagerDuty together. It really, I think, turns operational chaos into competitive advantage.
Wow, well said.
Wow. So we have a question. I'll rephrase it a little bit, but how are you taking, as your agents are watching an incident progress from incident to resolution? How are you capturing that and building that back into the knowledge base so that the next time around the agent is continuously learning, getting better?
Sure. Yeah. That's really the data flywheel that I think will be the game changing here, right? Like, how can we take, let's say, the SRE agent, and how can we really start like teaching this agent every time the incident, happens, and really start classifying into these three buckets? Because if this is something new or novel, where again the human expertise is really in full control here, that's exactly the moment where we want to take the SRE agent and learn from it for the next time. So when I'm saying learning, it's really looking on, hey, what notes did responders leave, right? What was the resolution? If we're using Amazon Q to retrieve information from, let's say, Confluence runbooks automations or GitHub code changes, we can take these insights and also teach the SRE and say, hey, last time the incident happened, this is exactly the insights that we got leveraging Q. So next time we have something similar, we can already automatically go and try to pull this information and suggest to the responder, right? So I think it's really about creating this data flywheel, which will be critical for taking these incidents, which are essentially, we call them opportunities, right? Every incident is an opportunity to become better and improve for the next time, because incidents will happen, right? It's really about how are you better prepared for the next time, and ensuring that you can save costs and really free up people in the future.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, since we have just like a couple minutes left, how can our viewers like get in touch with you and learn more?
So I believe we should have some QR codes here to try PagerDuty Advance. We actually we are including PagerDuty Advance for most of our, I think, term customers. So it's very easy to try it out. And then I think Amazon Q also is pretty easy to be accessible, and there are a lot of trials that can be offered to really experiment the integration and how PagerDuty Advanced can work. For those who are new to PagerDuty, I think we can leave here. I can leave here the URL where people can just sign up and ask for a trial and experiment PagerDuty and all the AI functionalities.
Awesome.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us. Like, it's super exciting to hear all the stuff that you're doing. I'm just never ceased to be impressed with like the cool stuff that you all launch. So thank you for launching cool stuff.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, this has been another exciting episode of GenAI Live. Join us again next week from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, thank you. And we'll be continuing to, highlight partners in AWS innovation. So thank you for viewing us, and we hope that you come back, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Thank you. Have a good one.